Welcome to Mic Check Waifu Waifu.
Mic check. Mic check, waifu. Ma, tell them. Is that you?
In 303, it is me.
This is episode 303 of Mic Check Waifu. As always, it's brought to you by Patreon. Patreon.com/Mic Check Waifu is where you can get early access to the video version of this podcast, is where you can get access to the Patreon exclusive podcast, The After Stories, where you can get access to 303 pre-show, which goes live as soon as we finish recording that. So it's up right 2 days before this episode goes live for everybody else. Thank you so much for supporting us, Patreon producers. Sorry, I was ready, I promise. For some reason, it's not popping up in order. But shout out to Dad Needs to Talk podcast, Christian the Archivist, Fear, Ked the Pro from Chaotic Culture, Explicitly All for One Man, Matthew H, Monique Williams, Simi Sensei, Frozen, Rob Stone, and last but certainly not least, our guy, T Money Fingers. Thank you so much for producing this and many episodes of the podcast. We appreciate you. There is episode 81 of the After Story podcast. So if you do support our Patreon, make sure you connect your Spotify to your Patreon account so you can get access to the After Story and the pre-show RSS feed, where you can then listen to the most recent episode titled The Piece. A lot of fun. Shout out to Dad Needs to Talk for dropping a comment in the Discord on that most recent episode. It's fun. He agreed with Tell on a lot of his points. I'm not going to spoil what we talked about. So if you support us at any tier, you can get access to the After Story RSS feed. So make sure you go over and check that out. Yeah. My Check Waifu is the anime podcast brought to you every Tuesday at 9:30 a.m. CT. We are going to bring you seasonal topics and conversation. We're leaning towards... This is what we're leaning towards. We're leaning towards next week being the week of the summer preview.
Possibly.
Which, let me look again.
When I was just looking, bro, I didn't see anything that gave an actual date.
Yeah, so what we normally do is you normally use AniList to give us an indication of when dates of stuff comes out, and that indicates on when we start our preview episode. But there is nothing to have any type of release date. Well, no, they do. They do. Some of them do. We could probably do it next week. Let's call it next week.
All right.
Summer previews next week. So join our Discord, discord.miccheckwaifu.com, where you can then get access to our summer preview thread. You can drop your sleeper picks, which is always one sleeper pick for the summer of an anime that you're unfamiliar with that looks interesting to you when you look at the summer list of anime. And then your most anticipated animes. So we're going to have that thread over on our Discord. So be sure to go there and check that out. Remember, Discord is free to for everyone to join. Join us there. But we got a few things to talk about. And before we get to that, what was your episode of the week this week?
Windbreaker.
Yeah. My episode of the week this week was
There's some good ones, man.
Yeah. I'm gonna make it Summer Pockets. Yeah. Okay. Another heater. What I love about Summer Pockets specifically is I love the way they're doing the visual novel aspect of it all, right? Where we got one arc, and then it takes you, and then it essentially starts all over, and then it stops at a certain point within that within the show to then branch off into the different arcs of different people, which I think is a very creative way of doing it in the visual novel dating sim aspect of what this show is. I think it's neat, and mostly the stories has just been heart wrenching and just all around sweet because all the characters are so likable.
Yeah, let me tell you this before you piss me off. I have a love-hate relationship with Summer Pockets. One, because it is doing that very cool thing that Clannad did, where I enjoy that kind of scenario where you're jumping into the stories, like you said, and giving us some time with the other characters. And that theory that you theorized is kicking my ass, bro. It's really kicking my ass.
Yeah, because now it's on the surface level of your mind every time you watch an episode. At least it is for me.
And we get these episodes with these characters that I'm loving every time they bring us these characters.
They're so sweet.
And I'm just like, oh my God, they're gonna do the Clannad after story thing, but in the beginning it's already kicking me. It's already showing you.
Yeah.
But I really enjoy it for what it is and this little sweet context of what it is. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Let me say this now, to piss some people off for no reason, because I don't know. I just feel like it. And it's probably not a too outlandish take because most people know my taste in anime. But I will say that for the first time ever, 2B Hero X didn't wow me. It wowed me animation wise, obviously. It wowed me because this fucking 2B Hero X is the only anime that I know that has animated the right strings when the guitar is being strummed, which is fucking insane. But it just, I mean, probably other musical anime does that as well. But the problem with this episode for me personally is that it's a musical episode and I'm not a musical anime lover. And it solidifies the fact that I just don't like that type of anime whatsoever. I can't stand it. It's something about and this is not just anime, it's anything in general. I don't like musicals.
Yeah.
For me, and no matter how good the singer is or how good the song is in the musical, it's grating to my ears. I hate hearing people sing on shows. I just really hate it. I don't know why. It's a personal thing. Weird. Because I'm super like, I don't know, sensitive to it, I guess.
Yeah.
And it overwhelms my senses and it makes me feel uncomfortable.
I understand. And I have to say, in the beginning of the episode, specifically this one, I was the same, especially when the guy started singing. I was like, okay, so he's intentionally supposed to be a bad singer. Mm-hmm. That shit hurt my ears, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you, it hurt my ears. And even when she started singing, because I had to readjust to hopefully hearing something that actually sound good.
Yeah,
it was a little grating as well. But in my opinion, in terms of quality of the episode was still very high quality.
Top tier quality, yeah.
So it's I understand because it wasn't a wowing episode for me either. There were still details. There were still revealing information. It has all of the similar makings of every other 2B Hero X episode.
Of course.
With far less drama, if that makes sense. It wasn't as dramatic.
Yeah.
While still giving us context and stuff like that. No, it was not. It wasn't the same overwhelming things that you might have gotten in other episodes, though. So I agree with you. It wasn't a wowing episode, but it was plenty of detail, plenty of context, and plenty of quality there.
Yeah.
But yeah, 100%. I agree with you. I don't think it was. I could have actually done without a lot of the musical aspects of it.
Yeah, I get why they're doing it though. Obviously, this is her story. But moving past that to keep the through line of pissing people off, I want to talk about Fire Force Season 3.
Oh, yeah, let's do that, please.
And this is going to be some spoilers for Fire Force Season 3, but trust me, the spoilers are so irrelevant that I'm about to say that it just doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
This show is turning into...
Ass? I mean...
Don't say ass. I mean... It's not great. And it's not great. And here, this is why it's not great. What do we call not Hero, Hunter x Hunter? We call it a show of moments. Mm-hmm. Because they just have these specific standout moments that are great. This season is trying to have moments, but they're falling so flat that it's so dismissive. Like all of it is just so Okay, I'm gonna spoil it. So spoilers for episode 9 of Fire Force season 3. Arthur found his parents magically again, and the explanation they gave was the most obscene bullshit moment or obscene bullshit I've ever seen, which is not Fire Force things. Fire Force specialty is its writing, and its writing has been so atrocious this season that none of it sits right with me. It just feels like a completely different show. It's weird. Shout out to Frozen who agree with us.
Yeah, I legitimately don't like this season.
Yeah, it's not good.
I have actually dreaded turning on Fire Force this season.
Me too.
And that's crazy. It's so crazy.
Unbelievable. Coming from us, where we championed Fire Force for years.
Yeah, I have dreaded turning on Fire Force this season. And it's mostly for the fact that I feel like it's a disappointment. Imagine, what's your favorite food, Polow? Imagine you getting your favorite steak. It's a Japanese A5 Wagyu or is it A6? A Japanese Wagyu steak, $1,000 steak. And you get it like, I want it medium rare. Is you like medium rare? You like rare?
Yeah, medium rare.
You want it medium rare, right? So we both waiting on medium rare, $1,000, $2,000 steak. It get there.
It's well done.
It ain't even well done.
Ew.
It ain't even well done. It's burned to a crisp.
That's me. That's well done. But yeah,
well done ain't burned to a crisp.
It might as well be in my opinion.
Overdone. That's overdone. Now, hear me out. You don't want that $2,000 steak no more. And Fire Force has been an absolute delectable meal every time we watched it in season 1 through season 2.
Yeah.
I have not tasted this season at all.
Yeah.
Or it's been a poor taste in my mouth. And I don't like to say that about Fire Force, but this season 3 has been my least favorite. I have not enjoyed almost any of this.
Okay, so you got this again. They try to set up these moments, right? I talk about it all the time. Hunter x Hunter is a show full of great moments in its entirety. It's okay. The show Hunter x Hunter this season has been, they're trying to set up great moments, but none of it is even okay. You got the fight with Burns and Shinra. That was supposed to be a moment. The writing has been so poor up to that point, it don't even feel like they should be fighting in the first place. That's one. And you got 2, the Habana thing. It lasted all but 20 or half of an episode, which was okay. But that moment of somebody important in her life showing up, it just didn't feel written. It warranted written well. None of that whatsoever felt even probable to the cause of what's going on.
That should have been so heavy. That should have been heavy.
So heavy. And it wasn't. It wasn't even it. And then to make that worse, that was sped by to go to some bullshit for Arthur to build his new sword. And I get, they do have these moment of levity episodes. They do that every season, but they do it so well in other seasons because it's written into the story naturally and free flowingly, well done, that it feels good to watch. This just felt forced, and it for some reason lasted 2 episodes to then show us, oh, here's the moment where he meets his parents again after all this time. And the reason why they've been gone is asinine and don't make sense. The reason how they found each other is asinine and even worse. The reason why they leave is asinine and even worse. It don't feel good. None of that felt good.
Yeah, bro.
And even him getting what he got at the end of this episode don't feel good. I didn't care. I wasn't excited about what I'm gonna see from him. It's so bad. I know
penmanship took a huge hit.
Yeah, and I know a lot of y'all gonna turn it off because of that. Turn this episode off because of that. I gotta tell the truth. I gotta keep it real. I probably should have played the antagonist button.
Now, when y'all turn the episode back on, I need y'all to understand that Polow said nothing wrong there. Nothing he said was wrong there. Those are all facts. And coming from two people who love Fire Force, love
Absolutely
the characters in Fire Force. It even got to the point to where we got to this in this episode and we got this reintroduction with what we got. And I'm like,
yeah,
I hope y'all write it well. I've lost confidence. I've lost confidence.
Yeah.
And it's not even half the amount of episodes that we've gotten in previous seasons. And I feel like I've lost confidence. And that's sad. It's sad.
It's very sad to even feel. Speaking of feeling, tell. Oh, wait, before we get to that too, I watched 3 episodes of a new show. It's not a new show.
Yeah.
It's a very old show. It came out in 2014. And it's piqued my interest a little bit. It's called In Search. It has terrible reviews, so I don't know how it's going to turn out. But it's called In Search of the Lost Future. And it's very interesting at the beginning, because first off, the first episode leading into the second episode, confusing as all hell. Because what happens in the first episode, it's about this student, this guy who goes to this school. It's like somewhat in the future. It's like not too far in the future. It's, it's in between. And he's in this astronomy club, and he lives with his childhood best friend, and they're just living normal, childhood best friend life, right? Stuff happens. She confesses to him at the end of the episode. He says, he's just shocked as all hell because he kind of feels the same way, but he didn't expect this from her, so he's out of it. And then at the end of this first episode, spoilers, it's okay. She ended up getting hit by a bus after she goes home early, while he sits at home, while he sits still in the astronomy club, thinking of mulling over his answer of how he feels about her back. She gets hit by a bus, and I think she dies. But in episode 2, the shows continue like a regular normal show. And then it starts the actual plot of the show, which is about them finding this girl at the top of the school who doesn't have her memories. So I'm confused as all hell as to what the episode 1 was even about, or if it was just a mulligan or something. I don't know what the fuck episode 1 was about, because it was like a natural slice of life. Then something really tragic happens at the end of it. Then episode 2 comes back. She's alive. Everything's normal. And then this whole other girl comes in the picture. It's so strange. It's a very strange show. So I'm going to continue to watch it and give y'all my final thoughts on that next week. But it very weird. Very, very weird start to a show.
So cleaned her clock and said, all right, we're going to reset this.
It didn't have a word about it. It didn't say anything about resetting. It just, whatever just happened. I'm like, oh, this is about to be interesting. Now he got to live the rest of his life with this trauma that he has. Nope. It's a completely different show at episode 2. Okay. So let's talk about today's topic. Today's topic, I think, is going to be an intriguing one, because I don't think we said, how it helped us in the past, but just to touch base on it, here's the question I'm forming up. Does anime really impact your life? Like, I'm not talking about has it impacted your life. That's past tense. We know it has. Obviously, it's how we became basically family. We basically are family is because of anime. It all started because of anime. But does it impact your real life now, being a podcast host with almost 1,000 shows, not episodes, 1,000 shows under your belt? How do you feel it has impacted your real life now? Or does it?
And I believe this is going to be a thing that happens for most people in general, right? Going for anime is going to be more popular. But having been involved with anime for so long, anime at this point, especially now after having watched so much, is transcendental. It is a regular part of every day for me. If I see anime content, to me it's just like, okay, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's not to say that there's no impact, but I say that to say that it's already impacted my life so much at this point. My kids, I swear to you, we literally just finished talking about Fire Force. My kids every day, singing the Fire Force intro from season 1 every day. My daughter has been watching this anime called Catch Teeny Ping. It's about a little girl who goes out and catches fairies like they're Pokemon. But it's an anime on Netflix, and they love anime. Apollo has his own sign-in on my CrunchyRoll account. So it's like anime, it has impacted my life a lot. It impacts like gifts that my wife gives me. You know what I mean? It impacts food we eat. Like, we literally will watch an anime and be like, oh, that looks good. That looks good, bro. I've been making the fluffy pancakes recently because I saw them recently in an anime. And it's like, I gotta make them. But I say to this day, yes. And even on a social level, anime does impact how I communicate with people, because I'm not going to go out of my way sometimes to ask, hey, do you watch anime? But people will tell me, hey, they'll say something, blah, blah, blah. And they'll say, oh, yeah, it kind of reminds me of this anime I watched. And because it's so easy for me to bring up something out of 1,000 anime that I've watched and relate it to that, it's so easy to bring up a conversation and spark up a conversation and use that on any social context level. So, yeah, man, anime has, in my real day-to-day life even, it still impacts my life.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it for me. And what made me think about this topic is because I saw something on Facebook, unfortunately, when I'm on there, just trying to catch up on my family, how I normally do, just see what's going on in life. Somebody I went to school with reposted a status that said, I don't care what y'all say, watching anime is weird. And then he shared it and said weirdos. I'm like, anyway, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just think about, like, stuff like that is what makes me think about how much this impacts my real life, because it's like, it's not just, for me now personally, it's not just entertainment. It is literally, it's like, it does influence my everyday life. For example, we talked about this in the After Story, which is the Patreon exclusive podcast. And then we talked about it in the pre-show as well. But I'm about to get a dog again. And the name I want to name him is based off of Japanese culture. And it's just because of I'm a big fan of anime. And the name is very relevant to what, I like. It's my favorite color. It's everything that I feel like is what shapes me. And I think that's why it's so important. Again, having almost 1,000 anime. I will say it's probably 1,000 because a lot of my anime lists don't count everything. And my anime list says I've watched, according to my profile, 844. It's honestly, when I'm not playing games, I'm watching anime. Right. And it really do like dictate how my life goes. And then I found so many experiences that I just would, obviously we do the podcast now, but I just love to share with everybody else. Emotional experiences, angry experiences. Like I get so excited when I see something so dope like To Be Hero X. Or I get so sad when I watch something like Summer Pockets. That the fact that it can invoke all these emotions for me is just, and that's a huge impact on my life, because I think unironically it keeps me grounded. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. to my humanity, because right now I don't spend a lot of time going places, you know what I'm saying? And that keeps me attached to my emotions in ways that I feel like is personally life-changing. To be honest. All right, so here's another question for you then. Has anime ever spiked your confidence enough to where you feel like you could like fight the entire world, or just take on the entire world, or just inspired you so much to where you just wanted to get up and do something? Obviously, I don't mean fight the entire world like Goku or some shit, but
I wouldn't necessarily say. So what I would say is that inspired me in a way to where I felt more confident in myself. Yes. And I say that because and it's against the world in general, I've always been relatively confident.
Oh yeah.
The places I've lacked confidence was directly with confrontation with my family sometimes. Mm-hmm. And I feel like anime has helped me experience wise be able to say, nah, I'm gonna talk to anybody the way I need to talk to anybody. Mm-hmm. And I say that and to say like, I because of some of the anime I've watched, I demand a certain level of respect from anybody. And if I feel like, I don't care who you are, if you talk to me like I'm a kid and not like the person who has the experiences I've had and gone through the things I've gone through, if you talk to or treat me like someone who is less than competent, I have to stand up for that. Yeah. And I even do that in regard, like I said, I've always been a person who stands up for other people. And I mean, like I said, I stand up for myself, like I said, against people who have something to say against me.
Right.
But anime has made me feel like I want to take up for all things in general. And like I said, that's why I have the Ouroboros on my hand from Full Metal Alchemist. But just because of Full Metal Alchemist reminds me of the equivalent exchange. I feel like if I give you respect, I deserve respect as well. And that's how I treat my children even. I give my children respect because they deserve respect, bare minimum. So I expect that. And not to say I wasn't given that, but it's just to say that sometimes you give people more respect than they deserve.
Yeah, and I think I'm the same way in that aspect because, again, it goes to the importance, I think, of Full Metal Alchemist, to be honest. That equivalent exchange I die by in real life. And by equivalent exchange, I'm talking, obviously not literally. I'm talking metaphorically when it comes to like, if you talk to me any kind of way, I'm going to talk to you any kind of way back. It's just, you go low, I'm going to go low too. It's just what it is. It's always been me. It's always going to be me. And it's mostly because of that anime. But if you're sweet and nice and pleasant and personable, I will be sweet and nice and pleasant and personable to you as well. And I think that's the biggest part of what shaped, I think, not only me, but you as well when it comes to our personalities, funny enough. Because I don't care who you are.
Yeah. And I used to be way worse, but I'm telling you, it was when I finished Full Metal Alchemist, I was like, you know what, man? I've always been good for good reasons. But now I feel like maybe I need to reconsider how some of these things, that the way I approach life is a little bit more fair. Like I need to be a little bit more fair, not just to myself, but like other people as well. Yeah. And even fair for myself, like I said. So I agree with you, bro. I feel like, and even that, like I said, I appreciate you introducing me to anime like Clannad and Clannad After Story, because while I always knew that scenarios in that anime would have affected me, I never lived that experience. You know what I mean? So, and I swear to you, every time I watch anything that has a scenario like that, it kicks me in my chest every single time, bro. Yeah. And Monique be like, let me turn it off every single time. Right, let me get it ready. She's like, I know what's about to happen. She's like, you ready for this? And I'm like, look, you already know how it is with me, so you might as well go ahead and get through it. But every time, and Clannad was like kind of like my introduction to that. Mine
as well.
It was, for me, it was an experience for me to live out something that, while I knew it was a reality, something that could happen in real life, I got to see it in an animated form. And it both submerged me in the feeling of it, but also separated it from reality a bit. So because it's anime, I know it's not real, but because of how it happened, it is a thing that could really happen. Yeah. So, and I'm speaking of death. Yes. Not to spoil, but I'm speaking of death. And it made me confront the issue directly, so to speak. And it has made me more appreciative of things in my life, even though like I feel like I've always appreciated it. I tend to be far more gentle even with things that like I know for sure I would never want to lose.
Yeah, man. And that's what it was for me, dude. I watched it in, I don't know when that was. It was a very, very, very long time ago when Kiss Anime was still around. So, you know, that's a long time ago. But I watched it around then, and again, I was the meathead guy. I was the guy that wanted just fights, man. I wanted some good action, some good animation. And then when I turned that on and realized that could do that to me, and nothing at that time, nothing in the world could do that to me. I didn't care what it was. I was so hardened back then, like I didn't care.
Same.
It literally opened my eyes to it, essentially an entire life of stuff that I just can't get away from now. Not that I've been seeking that feeling ever since, but I've been open to feeling that feeling ever since. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been open to being sad and shedding a tear during the show. It don't matter how deep or how not deep it is. I still shed a tear, and I still feel like I can run it with anybody.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't matter how quote unquote soft or weird it may seem to other people. Like I you know, come meet me over here. I still got it. But I think it did let me open up myself more to the emotional aspect of just shows in general.
Yeah. And unironically, it also put me in a point to where I understand when emotion feels superficial.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So like when I'm watching something and I'm like, oh, this is sad, but it's like it just doesn't feel as genuine.
Yep.
I can understand that. And it's like I'm not going I can watch something like, and it's funny because I watched Your Lie in April first. And I was like, oh, that was sad. That was really sad. And but I didn't even shed a tear. I was like, that was sad.
Yeah.
And then I watched Knat and I was like, oh nah, nope. Nope. Grown man tears.
Yeah.
Several of them. All of them.
Yeah. I mean, I'm talking snot and everything.
Yeah. And ever since, like I said, it put in perspective for me specifically emotions that I find for myself that are superficial. Which that's a real impact on my day-to-day life. Yeah. I know what I care about most, and not saying that anime is the reason why, because like I said, I always knew that those were things that would deeply affect me, right? I always knew those things would specifically, and I've always stated them because I knew out loud that would be something that would deeply affect me.
Right.
But to be able to take out the superficial things that I know wouldn't affect me and being able to easily set those aside to make sure that the emotions that I need to cater to are important. And I mean, anime has done that for me, bro. It has done that for me.
I think what you said at the beginning of this is poignant because it isn't just entertainment. And I think if anybody, it doesn't matter who you are because there's so much of it now. It doesn't matter who you are. I guarantee you will find something that if you watch it, it can speak to you no matter who you are, right? The person that wrote that on Facebook talking about some weirdos or whatever. If you watch anime, you're just weird. It's more than entertainment. I guarantee you, if that person we just find any show that can just fit. We could. I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. I'm not cutting this out. I'm leaving it all in. There is a show for that person that called Anime Watchers Weirdos. I can guarantee you can find one show that can solve all of his concerns on why you would think it wouldn't be weird or why you would even be emotional watching something or why you would feel invested into something you're watching. And that's how I know when people talk like that, I can tell that they've never seen or watched enough of it to even know that this is something they can feel outside of whatever it is they do for a hobby. You know what I'm saying? Rather if it's watching sports or basketball or wrestling or whatever the case may be.
Right. And even to take it a step further, I think saying one is lowballing it.
Yeah, no, true.
You should be able to, and I'm not saying every person is different. So yeah, there might be some out there who literally you can only find one anime that they will ever like. But most people, there's a handful. You can say I don't like this, and you can give them maybe 5 solid suggestions that would be on point for what they need. And it might not even be Polow and I who can do it because we don't watch specific anime often. Like we don't watch a lot of sports anime.
Right.
But we know that there's people out there who watch 30, 40, 50 different sports anime and can name them all down and all the characters and say, boom, you specifically like sports. Let me show you something. This is the most realistic sports anime you got.
Right.
And it could change that person's perspective on anime to where they go from, okay, they watch this one sports anime. Like I'm telling you, the first sports anime I can remember actually watching is like Hajime no Ippo. Even though I'm pretty sure I've watched like the Aces one where they was playing tennis or something years ago. But I'm thinking about like Hajime no Ippo. I was open to watching more sports anime because I thought Hajime no Ippo was so good. Yeah. And then I watched Kuroko no Basket because Hajime no Ippo was so good. And then I watched Haikyuu because I thought Hajime no Ippo and Kuroko no Basket was so good. There are things that like you will open your door. And I've watched more Slice of Life because I thought Your Lie in April, because I thought Clannad, because I thought A Silent Voice, because I thought what was it? The
Silent Voice.
You know what I mean? Because I thought all of these were so good. Or Your Name, because I thought Your Name was so good. Because I thought all these anime were so good. I had to go and watch more. And now it's a like I said, transcendental. This is a part of my life. Every day I look at my desk, I see anime stuff. I go in my closet, I see anime stuff. I go in my bedroom. The only place where I don't actually see something anime is my bedroom. But guess what? Sometimes my wife turn on anime. Sometimes I turn on anime. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Literally the kids' rooms, they all have something anime in there. You know what I mean? My gym where I work out at is something anime in there.
Yeah, it has, dude. Just thinking about back onto the question I asked prior to this whole conversation is that it has a deep root into like, again, not only shaping who I am, but shaping what I do now, right? Like this podcast, man, I've seen so many different things that I just can't, I don't know how, I don't know what people do out that don't watch anime now, because I just see so much and it's so entertaining, man. It's so entertaining. Like it's just as entertaining as finding a good video game and sinking 60 hours in a week into it. And you know what I'm saying? Like it's just so
you approach conversation different.
Yeah, it's just so much that I learned from anime.
Yeah, and you know what's funny is that literally what you said that the dude tweeted or said on Facebook or something like that. I literally saw somebody today say almost verbatim the same thing about gaming, but it was because a girl built her husband a gaming spot underneath like the stairs in their home. Built him a little gaming spot, bought him a system, a computer, lights, anime stuff on the wall.
It's fire.
And people in there like, you date men who play video games, dude. Like I can't believe you would. I can't believe you. The only place you can give him was underneath the stairs, and it's like the husband was so appreciative. He's like, "You gave me a spot, and I ain't have to pay for nothing for it." Like, you know what? Why are people like this? It's
so strange.
And there's always things like that because I guarantee you that same dude probably plays 2K and is like, I'm not a gamer. Bro, you play 2K and spent $10,000 to get your character to 999 overall and you still lose. You still lose.
What don't make any sense to me is the hobby bashing in general. Because what will be that person's hobby? What would be that thing that he spends $60, $70 on? What is he getting from that $60, $70?
All right, we can tell you exactly what it is, and it's a habit that neither of us have.
Yeah, it's probably drugs. You know, no judging here, but probably drugs or shoes or something. Shoes is cool too. You know, so, no, you're not getting no shoes for $60. It's gonna be way more than that. But you get the gist of what I'm saying.
Outlet.
Yeah, you get the gist of what I'm saying. It's like the hobbies we indulge in are something that can invoke emotional resonance. It can give you. I will honestly say this from the bottom of my heart to the top of my soul that it gives you values and ideals that you can even live by, i.e. what we just talked about earlier with Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood being one of the ones we kind of stand by. You know, I think it's such a huge cultural impact that the small island, these small chains of islands, this place can spread so wide and become something so massive. Unironically, it became influenced by us, the U.S. over here with the Disney cartoons, and they turned into what it is now, which is just massive. It's massive in every way, and it's a good medium to be in. I think personally,
great medium, bro.
It's the best.
It is, man. It is. It's something that, like I said, I'll never put down.
Mm-hmm. I mean, to lastly close out this topic, I will say this: anime has brought me out of several different depressions. It's given me 7 different ideals to live by and values in my everyday life, and it also what brought me closer to who is now my wife, because the conversations when we first met. It's all stemmed from anime and just discussing that. And because of that, it led to us getting together, and then now we're married, and I'm happy as I ever been. So I say all that to say, for those of you who are doubting what anime is or can be, I think it is probably one of the most important mediums in my life. And it's probably one of the best mediums and hobbies that you can indulge in that can and probably will change your life if you gave it a chance. Y'all probably won't hear this because it's an anime podcast. So what are your final thoughts?
As people, we all need some kind of creative outlet. And even if it's just ingesting someone else's creativity to help you funnel and think through what you feel. We all need a creative outlet. Don't yuck nobody's yum when it comes to that either. It's like, as long as they're not hurting nobody, as long as they're enjoying what they're doing, and like I said, gaming, anime, whatever it is, whether even if it's just regular cartoons, find a way to creatively invest your time to get those emotions, those things off your chest. And for us, it happens to be anime.
Yeah, we appreciate y'all for listening to that fun little topic. Hope you enjoyed it as much as we did, because I know I definitely did. All right, moving on to get to know Mic Check Waifu.
Random number generator.
Yeah, no, it's my turn to answer questions.
You ready?
Yeah, of course.
You ready?
Yeah, of course.
So I was literally just talking about how on TikTok I was scrolling through. I'm vamping for Polow while he get there. On TikTok, while I was scrolling through, and they're unvaulting these LeBron clips of LeBron going hard.
I hate how you know when I'm lying. Okay. What number did you get?
I got number 23. And they're unvaulting LeBron clips and saying if MJ did this, they'd call it the. Well, go ahead.
Reroll again.
That's cool. But either way,
don't exist.
Number 12.
Reroll again.
Ooh, we getting through them. 84.
What is your favorite anime about friendship? It's an easy one for me.
What is it? For
me, it's Naruto. That's my absolutely favorite one about friendship. Mostly because of Naruto's entire journey. It could be One Piece, but I'm not done with that yet. Yeah, you know what? I'm changing my motherfucking answer to One Piece. One Piece friendship is just top tier. I'd do anything for that crew, and they'll do anything for each other.
Yeah, I was gonna say One Piece. I was gonna say One Piece.
Let's just go with One Piece.
Because man, One Piece is just like one. I feel like One Piece is a lot about me. I get active for my friends, but I'm also like I want to have good times with my friends. I want to eat. I want to chill.
That's exactly. I want to
experience life, and I don't mind getting active. But I feel like that way. Like I said, my friends. I don't consider myself having a ton of friends because all the people I call friends is like family to me. So I feel exactly like that. My nakama.
One Piece is definitely the right answer to that question. There's no other. Because I thought about it too. I'm like, well, Naruto's it's a decent show, but it's kind of a one-sided friendship when you really think about it. I digress. We're about to take this quick break, and when we come back, you know what song I'm gonna play?
What's that, bro? And
don't tell my brother I'm doing this, but he gave me this song snippet probably 3 years ago.
Here we go.
And I'm gonna just put it in there, just cause.
Have you done this one before?
No, it's either gonna be between Love Hate or another one.
Okay.
But I'm thinking this other one, just because it's short and it's a nice little clip of it. Yeah, I'm gonna put that in there. When we come back, we're gonna go ahead and talk about these spoilers, which is for those of you who are unaware what we talk about in the spoiler half. It's going to be Apothecary Diaries season 2, episode 21. Kowloon, generic relationship. Episode 9, which Crystal, watch Kowloon. A Sword of the Demon Hunter, episode 9. It's gonna be interesting. Spoiler. We'll be right back after this.
I'm sorry, my Christian scorecard just went down for using a profane piece of language. for the gram before they do it to you. They gonna send a picture to the gram before they send it to you.
And I tried to find why I cannot understand why I stay with you. And I tried, can't deny, I can't lie to myself. Girl, I wait for you. In competition with your timeline, attention got too high now. She's on the mission, chasing chicken, working niggas like a 9 to 5. And I normally don't give your type the time. They say what goes around, girl, you're my background. And I try to find why I cannot understand why I stay with you. And I try, can't deny, I can't lie to myself. Girl, I wait for you.
And welcome to the spoilers. Spoiler talk. Start off with Apothecary Diaries. What's your thoughts?
First and foremost, I love this anime.
Mm-hmm.
My thoughts are mainly situated around the end of this, right?
Yeah.
This end of this episode, where Master Jinshi is confronted by the master strategist being Mao Mao's dad.
Mm-hmm.
That whole sequence of events was not only hear me out. I knew where it was going immediately, right? When he came in, I felt like I knew exactly where it was going.
Well, who came
but
in?
It's Mao Mao's dad.
Adopted dad or strategist? Real dad?
The real dad.
Okay.
I feel like I knew exactly where it was going because the conversation led directly there. But it was more of how it was done. And it put so much respect on the uncle's name, bro. I was like, this uncle?
The uncle being her adopted father.
Her adopted father, not her real father. It put so much respect on her uncle, the eunuch.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, yo, he knows how to go about things, right? And it could be, you know, what he had to go through as a eunuch. But he's so... It put in perspective that this family is so strategically sound. They are all... What?
It's simple, Phil. It
is simple.
What you're stating right now is simple. He taught who became the master strategist of this empire, who then taught... Well, he didn't... Who also taught Mao Mao, who is an incredible, you know, mind of her own. It's like, it's just...
Right.
You could tell that her adopted father is the fucking the main tree branch in this herb tree, if you will, for the lack of a better term, that taught some incredible people, that taught two incredible people, including her, including her Mao Mao and her father. It just goes to show that he is all powerful. He is the fucking Shinran of this verse, to be honest.
Yeah, and I love, well, that's what I'm saying though, is I love how strategically sound they are, right?
Yeah.
But the difference is that Mao Mao's actual dad is a trigger. He's a hothead.
Yeah,
whereas her, you said, yeah, right. Her adopted father he's calm and collected, and that's what makes him more frightening.
Yes,
you know what I mean.
Indeed,
that's what makes him the actual threat, because he didn't say what needed to be done. What needed to be done, he said, "Don't you think there's something you need to say politely?"
The right way,
straight, very quickly, and that's where the most impactful moment happens, so to speak, because not only was this it wasn't a communication to the eunuch Jinshi, you know what I mean? It was the communication to Jinshi. I need you to take up who you really are. Stop putting on this fake. Stop putting on the facade. Stop fronting for us.
Yeah, because the guy who delivers you is in a room too. For fuck's sakes.
Right. And it was like one of the realest moments.
Yeah.
It was so real. It was so dope though, because you have the master strategist and then is it his son?
Yep.
Yeah. And his son, who is a up and coming strategist, you have them together, asking for you to take action and telling you that with the information we gathered, this is what is going on, and it does require action. It doesn't require you to be a eunuch anymore. It doesn't require you to do the frivolous things you've been doing. Even though he's been doing some major things, a lot of it is frivolous. A lot of it is half-hearted because of the role and position he's been taking on. We need you to take on the real role now.
Yeah. And it's the fact that he just knows everything about this. And I think the major implication is that he's about to have to convince his older brother to go to war, essentially. For what? It's not for Mau Mau. It's for because them being traitors.
Right. And they have proof.
Yep. And they have proof. I think the spin of it all is so good. The fact that they kidnapped Mau Mau was the biggest mistake they've ever made in this entire plan, because the entire plan would have gone unseen if it wasn't for them kidnapping Mau Mau. They could have built up a crazy armor with all the 5 pistols and all the fucking guns they needed to take over the empire. But because they decided to kidnap Mau Mau, they just that ruined their entire plans because it set everything else into motion.
She is unrecognizably one of the most. She is one of like I said, unrecognizably one of the most important people.
And unknowingly,
and it's like, it's like how would they have known how important Mau Mau is? Mm-mm. There's no way they would have known.
No way.
So you took somebody who looked like completely pointless, completely useless, and they are important. They are a keystone. You grabbed dynamite when you grabbed Mau Mau.
Grabbed a nuke, actually.
I'm telling you. And the smart one at that.
Yep.
So it's like, I love this episode, bro. I loved it.
The trouble she's in, though, is just, like, I think Dad Needs to Talk said it. It gets deeper and deeper and deeper.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like, this lady is atrocious.
Crazy.
She's
off her rocker.
Awful, dude. Yeah. And it goes to show, like, I wonder what the envoy has to do with any of this. Is it just to help overthrow the current dynasty that they have right now? Or is it some other reason why she would be there? You know what I mean? Like, the envoy being there is the part that I'm a little confused on.
Not sure about.
Yeah, because she's helping her. She's delivering her the goods to help create what is the fives, right? The iron and whatnot. But why? What would be her purpose, her reasoning for that?
There has to be some kind of trade, right?
Yeah.
They have something that they want, even if it's like power or land or whatever, right? Because they said that the area was originally abandoned, but they've clearly fortified the space that they're trying to clear up and gain, right? Mm-hmm. So there has to be some kind of trade, and we don't know yet, obviously, but it's like it could even be as far as like, okay, look, you expand, take over said area. Once you get that done, you could bequeath that area to us, or you can take that area and let us have this area. You know what I mean? Like, just what is the more advantageous position for you to be in? So if you can silently, and that's what they're assuming though, right? And that's where the benefit for them maybe is that they are a silent helper until Mau Mau has seen what's going on. And if they could have silently taken out the emperor, then, they would be in a more advantageous position. But because there's so much information known now, unannounced to them, they are not in said advantageous position anymore.
Yeah, the fact that they're after Jinxie at first in the first place is
they know.
Yeah, they know who he really is. So they trying to stop him from taking over if the emperor was killed. So I think the plan was to take Jinxie out first, obviously, because once the emperor is killed, Jinchi would just take his place. So they wanted to vacate the seat entirely. But man, this is all backfiring big time. It's going to backfire even bigger now that they kidnapped Mao Mao unintentionally, because they thought they was going to be ready. They was going to have time. How much didn't he say how ready they were?
I mean,
I don't remember what the number was though.
Yeah, I don't remember. I know they said they've been preparing. Basically, well, the other army or the other group has been preparing for a while, based off what it is.
Yeah.
But they don't have. I don't think they gave us an actual number, did they?
No.
But so now that I think about it, though, with Shisui being one of the concubines,
which I was right about. Hashtag Polow was right.
Right. I think that this hasn't come to pass yet. What ends up happening is that and this always comes down to having a kid, if they vacant the seat and Shisui carries a kid, who takes over?
Yeah.
And with us knowing that her mother has several screws loose, that could be a plan that she would come up with.
I truly think that it's a puppet scenario.
Yeah.
Right. So where to get her in with the old emperor, so then when they both die, she could become essentially a puppet vassal for who this psycho lady is.
She'd be the queen, so to speak, and then the psycho lady be the queen regent, which is like, hey, you have to make all decisions to me because I'm older and more responsible.
Exactly. So that's why they put her in there in the first place. It's an intriguing story. It's an amazing story. We only got 4 episodes left though, which is so sad.
I don't know how I'm gonna get out of this, bro.
Did we get more? We'll find out, I guess.
They're gonna announce season 3 as soon as it's over.
You think so?
Yeah, this anime is also a top 5 anime. If someone told me this was their favorite anime of all time, I don't understand why. Yeah,
of course. There will be no fault taken outside of that. It's like I'm okay. I'm impressed that this not only came out with one full season of 24, but a second full season of 24 straight heat. Like, it's not like, we need a break in the middle for this is the first core, this is the second core. It didn't need none of that shit for both seasons. It took like one break, but unbelievable amount of quality content to where other shows don't have an excuse, man.
It's crazy. And to have put out this kind of quality in terms of like just pure storytelling, even, and character dynamics and stuff like that, this show, come on, I don't understand how. I don't understand how they did it and other shows can't do it.
I know. This studio, I guess the studio is 2 studios. The support studio is Toho Animation, which they only have this, and they got a free run short, which is ironic.
Right.
But the main studio is OLM. And OLM got some quality stuff. Yeah, OLM is pretty good. I parry everything. Yeah, they got Apothecary Diaries season 1, obviously. They did Far Away Paladin, funny enough. Dark Gathering. Don't Toy With Me. Nagisa-san. Odd Taxi. Interesting. Komi Can't Communicate. Let's go. They got some pretty good stuff under their belt. A lot of stuff, actually. They're very experienced, you could tell.
Yeah. It's in the quality. They do some and it's in quality. I mean, like, even the background stuff is high potential, high confidence. It's
For
crazy.
Sure. For sure. All right, let's talk about
Kowloon.
A very surprisingly, I mean, is it surprising? It's just great. It's just great all around. How do you feel about this? The plan that's going forward. This is another one where we basically are about to start at the end because the end is outrageous. where the guy who I thought was he's assistant Mayuki is tasking, who's flipping one of Mayuki dad's agents to his side.
Barry.
Yeah, to get him to kill Kujirai. The generic Kujirai.
So I think in this anime one, they use the terminology kill and death very false narratively.
I don't.
Well, I say that because I think part of the idea is that they want to test if she goes outside of Kowloon, if she actually disappears or dies. Right? And I think that's what he meant, because that was a huge topic within the wrapping up of this episode.
Yeah.
So I do think that, I think that's what it's going to be, or it could be literal, right? So let's say he literally wants her dead because her existence shows that a certain thing can be done, that a human can be recreated, whatnot, right?
Yeah, because
and what it can be used for.
Because you think about it, the original Kujirai is dead, so she shouldn't exist either. Is what they indicated in the episode,
right? So if she leaves Kowloon, well, if they kill her, right, get rid of her. I think that the forced requirement is that those who want her to stay alive have to get her out of Kowloon if they make Kowloon a hazard zone for her. So I think we're going to run into one of two different scenarios. Either one, they're going to try and get her out of Kowloon, or to save her, they're going to get her out of Kowloon. Which either way is scary. But here's what I'm also seeing is that through those glasses, I feel like she keeps remembering the original Kujirai.
I think, yeah, that's where I was going to go next. I think they're one and the same.
Mm-hmm.
And one and the same, I mean, by like, you think about because obviously she's different. She's different voice, different mannerisms, different, everything about her is different. And we realize that through Kudo's eyes in this episode when he's talking about the French toast. Mm-hmm. But then she puts on the glasses and she sees something that happened that Kujirai did, at the very beginning of this episode. So I think it's just a split of
convergence.
A split of consciousness that's starting to converge again, that's going to converge again, and then that's when she becomes that one person again. I don't really think as much to the fact that the original died or whatever. I just think it just got split during this whole destruction of the Kowloon city. That's just my thought process now. That's where I'm at.
Yeah,
my head is at.
And I don't think you're wrong. I think so. What I think that it's going to be a convergence, and it's going to be that true self, right? Where she realizes that she's Kujirai B, but she also is Kujirai A. She is the essence of Kujirai. So she's going to stop that A B scenario entirely and say, this is my true self, because I'm not just that I am this, but I need to be true to what I am now, right? And not just be true to what I was. So I think it's going to be that. But how we get here with the world, and even when they talk about what I can't remember his name, the dude who was talking about eating things from Kowloon,
Gwen.
It seems to make people lose their minds or lose a grip on reality. And I also feel like it could be just being there, like kind of how you explained, just being there. You'll over time lose a grip on reality.
Yeah, I think the food is the big part of that, though. Because watching her drink that drink and completely flip the script was a massive indication that food is something ain't right. And Gwen don't eat it. Gwen go gets food and brings it in.
Right.
Which is interesting. Yeah, because she changed into a completely different person.
Completely lost track of what was going on and everything.
Yeah, all the misconceptions that she had prior, she just was like, whatever, I don't know. Everything's normal here. Like, it's weird, man. It's how you keep people in check. It's very Matrix-like. Very, very Matrix-like. Creepy. Yeah. Like, very, very creepy. It's so uncanny that I just love it because everybody's so likable, but I'm worried about Kudo. I am worried about Kudo, though, because he seems to be falling deeper and deeper into despair.
Yeah.
And that's
because every time he realizes how different they are, even though he keeps seeing the same thing, it's Yeah, it has to be. I can only imagine, bro. Heartbreaking.
Yeah. Ugh, it's awful to think about. Great show overall. Hopefully you don't kill her.
She gonna die for sure. We're just not sure how.
Yeah. Excuse me. All right, moving on to last but certainly not least, Sword of the Demon Hunter, man. I think this is a show that deserves so much praise, but it can't get it because it's on fucking HiDive. Even looking at it in our notes right now, to just see CrunchyRoll, HiDive. It's just it's a task in itself. But this show is special, I think.
Yeah. What it is for me is the progression of this show.
Yeah.
We've already gotten, so we're on our third era technically. And getting to this more modern era.
Or are we?
And
maybe it was just a flash forward like they did in the very first episode. It was just a quick flash forward.
Right. It could be that. Which even then, if that's the case, then that's cool too. But even when we got that flash forward, we still got, I think it was like a couple hundred years in the future, or like it was a huge time that went after that.
So after the first episode, that flash forward took us to where he was going up to that temple, right? Mm-hmm. And then now it didn't show none of that after for the next 8 episodes until episode 9, to where they flash forward in more detail and more greater detail to see what that conversation actually led to, which is so cool, man. He got his own temple, or he had his own temple.
Crazy.
It's so intriguing, man. It's so intriguing.
The crazy thing that I'm seeing is that obviously the issue that he's going to have to face isn't going to be until the future, right?
You think so?
And yeah, I don't think he's going to face his sister, so to speak, until.
I always thought not. And this is where, hear me out. Tell. Just go with me on this question when I ask you this. Are demons real in today's society? Just answer it honestly.
No, I mean, I would say no.
Yeah.
I don't believe it.
Exactly. So that's what I'm thinking, right? Like, I'm thinking there has to be that fight with his sister before we get to modern day points, because now how we feel demons don't exist now, right? Obviously. Religious stuff aside, demons don't exist now in modern times. What if he had to fight his way up to that point and he's the reason why demons don't exist now? Because he took away who his sister is, and that in turn got rid of what demons are. Okay. And led to modern day society being demonless. That's what my thought process would have been for the entire series. But since we got this modern day time and it seems to so happen that he has the sword still, means that that's not true. So now that kind of flipped my whole script on his head. That's what I was thinking before this episode anyway.
Yeah. And I don't even think that's a bad thought, because going into it, we know that Japanese culture has a lot to do with, especially schools. They have those wonders constantly in schools, where they're demon driven or spirit driven. And maybe the convergence or the divergence is that they're not just demons anymore. They're actually just spirits, and that they carry themselves differently now based on whatever that could be. I
just had a random thought. Yeah, they even talked about how demons know that they won't exist. And this is, in getting her, who his little sister was, was a way to preserve them. Mm-hmm. Oh God, this is blowing my mind. Okay, sorry. I'm gonna remember stuff from old episodes.
No, you're right. We supposed to be talking about episode 9, but yeah, no, it's all the way the storytelling unfolds in this show. You think you understand it, right? You think it's gonna be an episode, a demon of the week type of show. It's not. You think it's gonna be just a mystery of the week. It's not. It's just everything about it has been gradually unique and building upon itself to tell a very unique story that I think is highly underrated and underappreciated. Yeah. And if we are in 2009 now, I'm going to miss Harlot. Mm-hmm. I feel like she was a cool character, but I feel like they introduced characters so well. And what they do is they handle the situation with the demons so well. And I knew as soon as he was in that food shop, I was like, one of those two people are demons. One of them two.
Really?
Yeah, immediately. I was like, one of those two people are demons.
I don't see how you would even have that thought.
It was just a thought. It was just a thought, bro. I was like, what? And it was because of how he handled the first altercation with demons. I was like, he is aware, and he's just scoping them out to get better information to know which one of them is a demon.
And
now,
lo and behold, he didn't have any idea.
He didn't. But that's what I was saying. I thought he was scoping it out. I was like, one of those people was demons. But I love how they handled the demons' interpretation. And how even the demons move, their characterisms or characteristics are solid all the way through. The demons are not evil for evil's sake. None of them are just like, they are following a purpose, and there's a reason for what they do.
Yeah, self-preservation.
You know what I mean? Yeah, but even outside of self-preservation, some of them have thoughts outside of self-preservation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true too.
They've fallen in love, and we see that even with our MC. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Not necessarily fall in love, but they have love for things.
Yeah, it's an unbelievable way of telling a story, though. Like I've been captivated every time I turn this on. The only thing that's been a problem is just going to HiDive. It's coming out of CrunchyRoll. That's the only thing that's been bothering me about it all. But outside of that, the show has been spectacular, and I look forward to it every single Monday. I really do. Bro. Like when Monday hits, it's the first thing I turn on. Even more. I turn it on quicker than I turn on Summer Pockets, and it's mostly because my heart has to get ready for Summer Pockets. But I'm just more excited to see sort of the Demon Hunter. But yeah, I'm absolutely stoked to figure out what's going on, or if we're going to be in the future from now on or not. Like you can't even tell.
Even if we're not in the future, I'll be excited regardless. Me
too. Because I wanted to see how the shop and his daughter, what happens, further on into the future. Because obviously she's a demon and he's not. So like, what becomes of them and her, and it's just so much untold potential there.
Yeah, man,
unbelievable. But I'm at Polow Barnfly on all social media.
I'm at King Teliano on all social media.
Make sure you like and subscribe to the YouTube channel, and you rate us on all podcast services of your choosing. We appreciate you listening, and as always, Mike, check.
You're now tuned into Mic Check Waifu Waifu. Is that you? Is that you? Is that you? Is that you?